This is Jerod Lakefield, a novel by Don Fensler, Part 27. Where was Jerod Lakefield? Where was Jerod Lakefield? It was the next morning and no one had heard from him. He was the toast of the town and the fucking cat's pajamas of the universe and the solar system put together, and yet he was nowhere to be found. It was like him to be alone, but not like him to disappear like this. How did he disappear? He took the last shot of the game. We all saw it and him, and then the buzzer went off, and no one had any memory of seeing him. He was not at his apartment, and beyond that, we had nowhere else we could think to look, as Jerod didn't go to any of the usual student hangouts. I knew Jerod hated small talk and cliched talk, but this seemed too much. Then my cell phone rang. I looked at the display, and there was a bunch of X's and O's and other gibberish. I said hello in my best "don't bother me now" voice. "Hello, Michonne," said the voice on the other end. "This is Jerod Lakefield." "I'm fine." "Where are you, Jerod?" I asked. "Everyone was worried about you. Are you okay?" "Yes, sir," said Jerod. "Sir." "I'm fine. I just needed time alone. I'm sorry if I made you worry." His voice was calm, sad, pure Jerod Lakefield. "Everyone is in hog heaven, Jerod," I said. "We won because of you. We wanted to celebrate with you. We wanted to thank you. We'd never been here before." I was out of breath, worried. I was happy, and yet I had a feeling something bad was going to happen. "Where are you? Can we talk?" "Yes, I want to talk," said Jerod. "Could you come over to my place?" God damn it. I wanted to talk to Jerod, but I don't think I want to hear what he has to say. I don't know why I had that feeling, but I did. Talk. I had never been to Jerod's place. He lived off campus in a very modest-looking apartment complex. It wasn't dirty or slummy. It was modest, just the type place I would expect Jerod to live in. He lived on the second floor. I walked up to his apartment and knocked. He came to the door right away and smiled and shook my hand and told me to come in. I noticed he had his shoes off. The carpet shimmered, so I instinctively took off my shoes too, like I was a Japanese or something like that. I didn't notice any women or anybody else around. It seemed like he was alone, and I was alone with him. I had a feeling of dread. "Have a seat," he said, and pointed to the sofa. Clean, new, but nothing fancy. The place was very sparse. A sofa and a couple chairs, a table, and no TV. I couldn't stand it. "Don't you have a TV?" What a fucking stupid question, but I couldn't stop myself. Everyone had a TV, I thought. Jerod looked at me with those eyes that said, "That's a stupid question, but I'm too nice to say so." He said, "No. That's all. No. No excuses, no explanation about not having a TV. God, I am a piece of shit." "Jerod, thank you for this year," I said, finally getting back to myself and making sense, trying to make sense. None of us had any idea that all this was possible. You made it possible. You made it happen. I didn't know what he would say. Would he make me feel stupid again? "Thank you, Michonne," he said. After we learned how to play together, we were pretty much unbeatable, weren't we? Okay. I was surprised that he would say something. I was surprised that Jerod Lakefield would say something so conversational, so accommodating, so common. "You taught us how to play, how to use you," I said. Then thought again. "Rather, you taught us how you could use us." I laughed awkwardly. The walls seemed to be closing in on me. When you were in a room alone with Jerod Lakefield, it was otherworldly. I wondered what he would want to talk about, but I didn't want to rush it. I felt I would not have to wait too long. You had better come see Jerod Lakefield because someday God will take him away. That thought popped into my head again. I knew that this was it. Next step. I will have to leave St. Cloud, said Jerod suddenly. Do you want something to drink? I've got tea and Coke in the fridge. No thanks, I said. My head was in a fog. I knew what he was going to say, but when he said it, I was still in a state of shock. There is nothing else for me to do here, he said. There is nothing else for me to do. We could win 2 in a row, I said, coming to life and saying the stupid fucking cliched things coaches say. I knew it was pointless. St. Cloud has never even won anything once, but now we have a chance to win 2 championships in a row with you. Michon, thank you for everything, said Jerod Lakefield. You understand me better than anyone else. You let me be myself, and that is why we won. So what are you going to do? I asked. I'm going to play in the NBA, he said, just as nonchalantly as someone would say he was going to buy a fucking bag of jelly beans at Safeway. My work is done here, he continued. I must move on. He paused and then said cryptically, God decided we are done here. The NBA? And we? I was flabbergasted. I assumed he was going to move on to a Division I college, but what's this talk about the fucking NBA? I knew he was good enough, of course. All who had seen him play knew he was the greatest basketball player who had ever played the game. That we all had that feeling. But you just couldn't walk up to the NBA and say, Michon Lomax, a fucking very intelligent Negro from Minnesota, says I am the greatest player ever, so let me play with you. How are you going to do that? I asked him. I'm sure some scouts know you, but they may underestimate you because you play at a small school like St. Cloud. Has anyone asked you to enter the draft? I doubt if I will be drafted, he said. I will have to try out just as I tried out with you. Now I was really flabbergasted and a little peeved at his naivety. Naivety. Do you think the Los Angeles Lakers are going to give you a tryout just the same way tiny St. Cloud State did? Jerod looked at me and smiled. It was like a soft, warm wind blowing in through the closed windows, and it filled the room. That's exactly how I will get a tryout, Michon, exactly. And you will see how things happen. You will be a big part of what happens. Things happened fast after that, too fast anyway for my teeny little dainty brain to process. As I was leaving Jerod Lakefield's apartment, he said something. He said, this is something much bigger than basketball, Michon. Someday you will understand. Hell, that is one thing my teeny little dainty fucking brain already knew.